Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. Today it's time to play some Nations. Nations is as you can imagine, a nation building game. It's a civilization game. It's published by Lautapelit.fi and it's designed by Håkansson, Rosén, Einar, and Rustan Håkansson. So it's actually a Swedish design game as well, which is a bit fun because this is really sort of not heavy in a way, but in some ways heavy civilization building game. It reminds you a lot from the civilization game for the computer, the classical civilization game, but here you have some other mechanics, some other ways to do it. Sort of, you don't have a board where you go around. I mean, the Civilization, the board game, is a great game. You click the little eye up there if you haven't seen it played. I did a video for that, or 3 videos actually, because it's a really long game. So that's a really cool civilization game, and there's other civilization games out there, but this one takes it sort of like, well, it's based around cards. You have cards that can be a military, it can be a building, it gives you different benefits, give you food and so on. There's wonders, there's wars, there's battles, there's a lot of stuff in this cards deck, and there's a bunch of cards for this game. We're not going to play all of these. This is just because there's a bunch of these are the era 1 cards, and then once we're done we will play 2 sort of rounds of era 1. I can show you over here. Then we will go to we'll start in the ancient times, and we go to medieval or antiquity times. We go to medieval and Renaissance, and then industrial. And so we will play 8 rounds in total. We have different decks that we pull these cards from, so they will of course increase in strength, in cost, all that stuff. So this game is really, you get a lot of replayability, because then you also have and by the way, I am playing with the expansion, by the way, the Dynasties expansion. I should mention that. Because then you also have the parts of, well, you're sort of different factions, or in this case different nations. I'm India, so I have some special ability. My player board is sort of special as well, has some different features from Draco, who of course is the Vikings over here. He loves Vikings, so he wanted to be this one, and he has a special ability. He starts with a wonder already built and so on, so there's so much replayability because there's so different factions, different nations, and so on. We have a bunch of resources. There's there's 5 resources in the game. You have, this is not a resource really. You have points, which is points in this way. Instead of having them on the board, you have points like this. You have stone, you have food, you have gold. And then you also have books, which sort of represents culture, how big in culture, or strong in culture your nation is. So this is the track out here that tells us how many culture points we have, or books as I tend to call them, because they look like books. And on this board we also have, as I said, we have the different phases. This game has a special thing. I don't think I've seen this in any other game really. You can choose your difficulty level. So right now both me and Draco will play on Prince, which is sort of normal if this was a computer game. But let's say you are really experienced with the game and you're playing with someone new, then you could be playing on Emperor, and the new player would be playing on Chieftain. That's kind of cool function actually, and it works quite well also. Then we have the player order. I will be the first player. This is just to indicate you can be up to 5 players, by the way. I haven't tried that, but I think that will take a really long time. Then you have this place here that we will put event cards each round. Something will happen. We will have perhaps some famine and so on. And here we could get some wars going on. That's up to us. If we want to sort of buy a war, basically instigate a war, pay for it, then it will happen. And I will explain how that works as we go. Then, so this is the war track, the military strength track. Over on this side we have the stability track. How good of a stability do we have in our nation? If we go too low here, we will have a revolt. That's not good. If we go high, then we can sort of mitigate the effects of losing a war. If you have high stability, then it might not affect you that much. But we'll go into that as we keep going. And so I've done sort of the setup. I've done some parts of the setup. I can't do them all. before we start playing actually. So here I put out randomly, because we are 2 players, we only put out on cards on this side. If you're 3+, you would also use this row here, and then 4 and then 5. And so I think we are ready to get going. This is quite a lot in this game to explain, but I'll try to explain as good as I can, and we will basically just start playing, and I will explain things as they come up, because otherwise you just have to sit here and listen to me. Okay, so I'm India. I am the first player, but the first thing that happens is, well, we have this really nice round summary, player aid. So we did the round marker movement. We had progress cards filled the progress board, and now we're going to do growth. In growth, we can either take, well, I can show you this. We can either take a new worker, because we have workers down here. So this is sort of a worker placement game, but you're only placing them on your own spot, so I don't know. We can take a new worker, or we can get either gold, food, or stone. How much gold, stone, and food we could get, or one of them, depends on our difficulty level. So right now, because we're playing on Prince, both of us could get 3 of one of those. Or we could take a new worker, you have to choose that. But the thing is, you don't really want to take new workers in the beginning, because these are the workers that I start with. I have 5 already. If I want to take one more, then you have the system of basically that you have in a lot of games. What you see is what you pay for or get. So let's say I would take this worker here, or one from this track here, then I would get -3 stability. So I will get the worker, I can use him, but then I mean he has to be used for something that gives me more than 3 stability to make up for it. Or I could take a worker from over here, and then he costs me 3 food. And once again, then he has to sort of produce more than 3 food to make it worth my, being out there, being deployed. So I think none of us is going to do that. We start a bit different as well. So I have some food, I have some stone, gold, and points. But I think I want more stone actually. So I'm going to take 3 more stone, like that. And then Draco, he has to choose. And he has, let's see, he doesn't have that much food to begin with. I think he will take 3 food instead. And this happens every round. This is not just the setup of the game. This is every round you're going to be able to do growth and either get some resources or get a worker out there. So as we go, we will start taking workers. Then we have new events. Now we'll draw an event card. You do this after the growth, because you're not supposed to know what is going to happen in the event when you do that choice. So here we have some yellow turban rebellion. This means that at the end of this round, that's when we resolve the event. The one that has the least military strength will lose 3 food. Alright. They always have 2 effects like this, two goals to go for. The next thing is Spartacus Revolt, and I really like that they have a little, here like 73 to 71 BC Roman Republic. This is when it happened in history for real. So Spartacus Revolt, the one that has the least ability, will go last and lose 1 coin, 1 money. And the cool thing there is, so I mean, in 2-player game, often it's going to be that one of us has more military than stability and vice versa. But if you want to win them both, then you need to have both the highest stability and the highest military. And least here is basically, if we have the same, like we have now, we both have 0 stability, we will both have the least. But let's say if it said the most, whoever has the most gets the reward, then you have, and if we are tied, nobody gets the reward. So it's a really harsh system. I mean, I should say really that this game, sometimes you're more playing the game than you're playing your opponents, because this game can be really harsh on you, which I like. I like that kind of games. Also, on this event card, we get information that there's going to be a famine. We're going to need to spend 2 food at the end of the round. We also get 1 architect, which will go up here. And since we are 2 players, we also will get 1 architect. These are used for building wonders and so on. Okay, so that was the event card, and then we go to the architect, which I just did. I just refilled based on how many players we are and based on what it says on the event card. So this will increase as we go. Now we go to the action phase. In the action phase, we can do 5 different things. It says just 4 on the player aid here, but that's because I'm playing with the expansions. There's a 5th one. We can buy a progress card. That's what you usually do the most in the beginning here. We can buy one of these cards. Everything on this, what's it called, row? I guess, is this a row? Anyway, and everything on this row, which costs 1 gold. Everything on this one costs 2 gold. Everything up there costs 3 gold, and that's just random how they got placed. Then once we're done with the round, everything that didn't get bought on the first and second get removed. Oops. And everything that's still in the third one will go down to the first one for the next round. So it will become cheaper. So maybe I want to have one of those cards up there, but I can't afford it, and I know that it's going to go down here to the first line or row, whatever, next round. Okay, so that's one thing we can do. We can buy a card. We do one action, and then it's the other one's turn, which is really nice. It goes fast like that. Or we can deploy a worker. Deploying a worker is based on the fact that we each start with buildings and military. It could look different depending on which nation we are. So I have a temple. If I put a guy here, a worker, which is that action to deploy a worker, then first of all it's going to cost me 1 stone to do that. It always costs stone to deploy them. But then I will get the effect of the building. In this case I will get 1 book, which is 1 culture point, and I will get 1 money generated at the end of this round, or this year, or era, or whatever it's called. Or I can go here. Here I will generate 1 stone and 1 gold. It will still cost me 1 stone right now to put him there. If he stays there to the end of the game, which is not likely because I will probably upgrade this building. If I buy another building, I can put it on top of this. Then he will generate 1 point for me. So just being there. I could have 2 guys there, but just one of them generates a point. But then as I get better buildings, let's say I buy this one, the Lyceum or whatever, however it's pronounced, then 2 guys will generate points at the end of the game. So they get increasingly better as we go. But at the end of the game, we're going to have totally different buildings there because we will build over these and so on. Or I can send a guy over here to be in the military and have a chariot. Then I would get instantly, if this is square, then I get it instantly. If it's a circle, I get it at the end of the round in the production phase. We have a resolution phase, and then we're going to do production. So I would get 3 military strength right away for having him there, and it would cost me 1 gold in the production phase. It cost me 1 stone right away though to do it. So, and also if I have the military guy there, I will have a raid value of 3, no matter how many. If I have 2 guys here, will have 6 in strength, combat strength, but I will still only have 3 in raid value. Raid value is something that it determines how much loot I will get if I engage in a battle, which I do up here. I can sort of purchase a battle. Alright, we'll get into that more later. And finally I have a farm which will generate food and stone. So let's say I want some military, then I could have some guys here, but they will cost me money, so I need to generate money on these, so they have to sort of do different things. Also, over here we have wonders under construction. If I would buy a wonder, let's see, we have a wonder out here, and we have the oracle. If I purchase that, that's A, buy progress card. If I buy that one, it will end up here. Then in my second action, I can do C, hire architect, which basically just means that I take one of these cubes, and right now there's only 2, and I need 2 to finish this. The first one will cost me 2 stone, second one will cost me 1 stone to put there. And once I finish this, this will go down like this, and I will have the oracle permanently, and that will give me 2 stability. So I will always have 2 stability. There's a bunch of different of these. I also start with a wonder here, already pre-printed. Because I'm India, I have the Varanasi. This doesn't give me any points at the end of the game, but it means that in the production phase, per undeployed worker, which is these guys, not these ones, but if these ones aren't deployed, they just stand down here, then I get 1 book and 1 food. So they will generate stuff for me even if I don't deploy them, which is kind of nice, I think. I also have my special ability, which is I get 2 food generated every round just for free. Over here I can hire an advisor to help me out in different ways, give me special abilities. And I can conquer 2 colonies that also give me special abilities, and to do that I need a certain amount of military strength, but there's none out there now. They'll probably come as we keep playing. So that's sort of the explanation of the player board. Yeah, actions. So we can do the buy progress card, we can deploy a worker, we can hire an architect, we can do the special action. In this case I can't do this, it's just there, passive action, but some of these actions are active. And the 5th thing that I could do is I could take one of these, and these are expansion stuff. I should actually put out 2 of these because there's 2 architects there. There should be 2 turmoil cards, as they're called, here as well. And the turmoil card works like this. The 5th action I can do is to take a turmoil card. If I do, I will get -2 stability for this round, and I'm discarded at the end of the round. It's actually called a round, yeah. But what it does is I can either play a dynasty card or take 2 money right away. That's a way to get money. Dynasty cards are based on you get 2 for each faction, so I have 2 for India. And if I play one, like this one, this is when a wonder is ready. When I built a wonder, I will get 1 point, 1 victory point. But then I will place it like this, so then I don't have that ability anymore, and I can't really get it back either. Then it's set there. I changed my special ability. Same, and then I have this one, which is kind of nice. This one, in growth, if I take a worker, if I do that instead of taking resources in the beginning, then I can take 2 extras. So I can take 3 guys at once. This could be really good later on. So that's how we start. Draco, we can just quickly go over his. He has a slave church, he has a quarry, he has some berserkers, fighters. They cost food instead of gold. I mean, my chariot warriors or fighters give me the same amount of strength, same amount of raid value, but mine costs gold, his costs food. We have a farm that generates food and stone, and he has Old Uppsala, which is actually a real city in Sweden. I actually lived in Uppsala when I was a kid. And this is the Old Uppsala, it's the old part of it where there's actually, as a kid, I've been to these places where they have these big Viking graves and all that stuff. Really cool. So this is actually where the Vikings lived for real, in the Iron Age. And so this will give him -2 points at the end of the game. He can, however, I think he can build over this. He can build something else over this, another wonder. But anyway, this gives him an action, so he has a special action that he can do once per round. So that will be an action for him that it's besides the normal ones. This one means that he can trade 1 food to get +3 military this round. So he can get military strength if he gives up some food. Kind of cool. His special ability, his special action, is after the production. After we get in the end of the round, we get all the production and all that. Then he can choose either food, stone, gold, or books, and he can make me or all the other players lose 1 of that resource. So it's just a mean action, but it's sort of like he's pillaging me or something. So that's kind of cool. I know Draco is going to be happy to do that. So this game is, as you can see, quite heavy, and there's a lot to talk about, but I think we're getting there. So I think we are ready to actually start playing. I thought we would do that like 15 minutes ago, but let's go. So we have done all that, and now we're in the action phase. Now it's my turn to decide what do I want to do first, and I will take a look over here. This is the most important part here because I want to get one of these cards before Draco can get it, because I'm the first player, I have the first pick. So let's see, what do I want? So let's see, I have 6 gold, which is kind of good. Now I could get a hoplite, the sort of Roman soldiers. But basically they do the same thing as my guy do now, my chariot, with the only difference is that these cost stone instead of gold. I'd rather have them cost gold at this point. Yeah. Okay, let's not explain every card, let's just keep playing, I guess. So I think for my first action, I generate some more food than normal, actually, because I have my special thing there. So I'm not that worried about food. Instead, I think I will I think I will get the city wall. That's a good one. So that cost me 2 gold because it's in that row. Yeah, that's this is a column, I think, and this is a row. Tell me in the comment section if I'm messing up the English here. But anyway, okay. So I got this one, which is a city wall. I purchased that one. That was my action. Now I have to place it on top of something else. I can place it over my military and don't have any military. I don't think I want to do that. So let's see. It generates 2 stone and 1 stability. Because right now I don't have any way to generate stability. That's why I want this one. Because remember, we have the event. I don't want to be the one that has the least stability, because then I will go last in order player order and I will lose the coin. So I want to avoid that. And Draco has his slave church, so he can generate stability right off the bat there. He doesn't have to buy any new building for that. So, but let's see, what do I want to replace? I think because I generate food here automatically because of my special ability, I don't really care for food, so I think I will build over the farm. Because the farm gives me 1 stone, 1 food, but this one gives me 2 stones, so it's better in that regard. But then I lose the ability to generate food, but I get some stability. And also my Varanasi, if I don't deploy my guys, they will generate food for me as well, and culture. Okay, so let's do that. I'll build the city wall over the farm, and now I can generate more stone. And my nation is more stable now because I have a city wall around. It's harder for anyone to attack me. Basically, there's a bunch of theme in this game, and it really comes alive if you start thinking about what the different cards are, what they mean. Okay, so that was my action. Now it's Draco's turn, and he can do the same things. He has these 5 different options of what he wants to do. And once again, he will purchase something. I think that's basically what you do at first, because once you've done that and you're happy with whatever you have, then you start deploying guys. Usually that's how the game goes. And I think Draco wants... What do you want, Draco? I mean, he could instigate a war here, but he doesn't want to do that now. There's no real point in doing that. Could get more military, which he would like, I guess, but he's already strong. He's a Viking and all that. He doesn't want Roman soldiers. No, I think Draco wants more food, because his soldier costs him 2 food right now. He wants more food generated, so he will get the brewery. This one. Let me zoom out. Let me go to his board, and so he will pay 2 gold for it because of where he was. And now he has to place it over something. He has the farm as well. He doesn't want to lose the ability to generate gold though, because you need gold to buy these progress cards. So I think he will build over his farm as well. He will lose the ability to generate stone there, but he can generate stone in the quarry together with the gold. So he'll put it right there. Okay. And so it's back to me. And do I want to buy something now again? Or do I want to... I think... Yeah, I think I would... I mean, I want to get one. I would like to get the Oracle, but it's really expensive now, 3 gold. This is a golden age, by the way. Golden age, if I buy that one, I get either 2 stone, or I can transfer 1 resource or trade 1 resource into 1 victory point. But it's not. I'm playing with all the cards, by the way. I'm playing with sort of the advanced version. The rulebook actually suggests that you play with the basic version. If you're new to this game, then some of these cards wouldn't be here because there's sort of advanced cards. You can see a little marker for that on some of the cards. Actually, a lot of these cards are advanced, so it makes it a bit more tricky. I think I will go for the... Should I get... I'm not sure if I'm going to buy anything now, because there's nothing really... No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to instead do the B action, which is deploy a worker, or my population. These is the guys in my nation, of course. So I'm going to send one of them to be in the military. So I will put him here, which will cost me 1 stone, just to deploy him there. And these can be moved as we go through the round, and as we go through the game. So, but it costs stone to move them. I could fire him at any time. It's not an action, just put him back. Then he wouldn't cost me the gold, right? So that is something you will do as you play this game. You will sort of put out guys, and then at the end of the round you will fire some of them because they will cost you money or food or whatever. In this case, though, he will give me 3 strength, or military strength, which we go over to the military track here. I have 3 military strength. And so it's Draco's turn. And Draco can see me do that. He might get a bit worried that right now, if he doesn't get more military strength, I might get a war going and so on. I might do that anyway. But you know what? I think Draco is not looking for the war track this round, so he will buy a war, but he will do it to defend himself. I will explain how that works. So he will pay 2 gold because he's not planning to really go into military this round. So he will buy the Parthian Wars, and this war is if whoever loses this war will lose a point and 3 gold. And so by buying it, the card ends up here. This is the war that is for this round. There can be no other wars this round. The black marker will be put wherever, since Draco bought it, it will put where Draco is. So right now the war has a strength of 0. So this war will have a strength of 0, that can't change. And everyone who doesn't have 0 or more military strength at the end of the round, when the war comes, will lose the war. But since Draco bought it there, he's protecting himself. Because if I had bought it up here, the marker would have been up on 3, and then Draco would have been forced to get 3 military strength to counter it, so he wouldn't lose the war, because it affects everyone, no matter who bought it. And this is a really nice mechanic. If you're playing with more people, this can be really hard because someone might run away on the military strength track. They instigate a war, and you're down here and you're going to lose stuff from the war and so on. Now you could sort of mitigate the effect, like losing 3 coins. let's say I would lose this war. It's not possible because it's on 0. But let's say I would, and I would be on 3 stability. Then that would mitigate, so I wouldn't lose those 3 gold. If I were on 2, I would just lose 1 gold and so on. But I always would lose that point anyway. I can't mitigate that. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the wars in this game. But it's not, it's just 1 war per round. You can sort of plan for it. You can buy it like Draco did in defensively. He bought it even though he doesn't care for the war. Nobody's going to lose anything from the war. Okay, so that was Draco's turn. And you know what? I was planning to buy that war. Because I had 3 military strength, I had more than Draco. I wanted to sort of get the war in and force him to get military. And military for him costs him a lot of food at the end of the round. And so he would have to generate food and all that stuff, which he can now anyway. Okay, so it's my turn. Now what do I want to do? The cards here are really not good to demonstrate the game, to be honest. I should have fixed the deck, sort of. But anyhow, this is how the actual advanced game works. It could be like this. Some cards come out that... there's a war here, but nobody wants that. You can't buy that. There's actually 3 of these natural wonders, they have a little... what's it called? Magnifying glass or whatever. No, it's not called that, but you know what I mean. They have this symbol here, which means that these are just sort of, you don't build them with architects, you just discover them. But you use the same system, but you get the cubes not from the pool there, but from the main supply pool. When they have different effects and money, or points and all that stuff. Okay, so... I think I will try to increase my stability. And remember, whoever has the least military at the end of the round will lose 3 food. So that's the reason for Draco to get his military up as well. But I want to get some more stability, so I will deploy a worker to the city wall. So that costs me 1 stone. In the production phase at the end of the round, he will generate 2 stone for me, so he will make profit right away. And also, he will right away, because it's a square, right away I will get 1 stability. So I'm ahead of Draco on stability and military right now, which is really nice. But it's just temporary, of course. So it's Draco's turn, and let's see, what is he doing? He has 2 gold left. I think he will try to hit me a bit. So he will spend 1 gold to get himself the Mount Arat. And this is a, as I said, this is a natural wonder. If he discovers it, then it's there. And as the Viking as he is, he likes to explore the world and so on. So he has Mount Arat here, and now he has to spend one other turn to explore it and put one of these architect cubes or explorer cubes on it. And when he does that, I will lose 3 food. So that's he's just finding a way to hit me, because I'm sort of going to hit him by having the more military. He will lose 3 food at the end of the round. So that was Draco's turn. Back to me. I still have some gold though. Should I get something good here? I don't think so, really. Well, I could. You know what? I'll spend 1 gold to get the Lyceum or Lyceum, and so because this building here, I can replace. I have a temple that generates 1 culture and 1 gold, but instead of this one here, I can generate 2 culture and 1 stone. So I have a lot of ways to get stone, which is really good for me. I do need some gold as well to pay for my chariot, but I can get it here. So that was my turn. Now we go to Draco, and let's see. I think Draco needs to start. Oh, he's just going to spend one round getting exploration there. Finish this, and now he has to mount Arat, which will not give him any points, and it's permanent, so you can't build over it. But he makes me lose 3 food, so that happens instantly. I'll lose 3 food, which is all the food I have. So that could be a problem for me. Also, we're going to have some famine at the end of the round, so I'm going to need 2 food there. Then again, I am producing food. For my special, I have 2 food there, so right now I'm okay. And so it's my turn. I will place someone here. And I'll place a guy on the quarry so I can start generating some gold. That costs me 1 stone. I will generate stone and gold in the production phase. And so it's Draco's turn. But this is really dragging out on time, so I'm going to take a break here and go to part 2, where we will just keep playing. It's Draco's turn next, and we will keep playing Nations, which is a really cool civilization game. And it's really heavy, but I hope you enjoyed it so far. Don't miss the part 2. You can just click the I right up there, go straight to part 2, and we will see you there.
Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.